Hi everybody, Dr. Shrum here from Holly Tree Animal Hospital, coming to you from Snore Room. This is called the Snore Room because if I snore too much, Manny comes here to escape my snoring. It's also our sun room, called the Cincy Room sometimes because it's got a lot of Mandy's Cincy materials in here. And those of you that may have seen some of my earlier videos will have noticed that there used to be a big railroad crossing sign up there on the wall that was a Christmas present for Mandy a couple of years ago. Well, now it has one of my Christmas presents to Mandy this year. That is our commemorative poster autographed by Jason Isbell from our concert trip out to Red Rocks, Colorado to see him at the Red Rocks Amphitheater. And if you are a concert buff, you need to go see a show there. It's like live music mecca, and you'll notice pretty lousy picture here, but you might notice that our VIP lanyards are hanging in there. That's pretty cool. That framing job was done by our friends over at Laurel Creek on Cleveland Street across from Sorin Stadium. Great folks, they do a great job. That was part of my Christmas present to Mandy. Not quite as great as the trip was, which was last year's Christmas present, but okay, so now you know the backstory behind what's behind my head. And speaking of Christmas, those of you that follow me on Facebook know of our little Christmas excitement when our lovely, sweet, lovable 14-year-old Labrador Retriever Savannah decided that she was going to jump up onto the kitchen table or make her way onto it somehow and pull off about a fourth to a third of a 7-layer chocolate cake and help herself to it. While Mandy and I were playing with the boys, we heard noise. We thought, oh my goodness, she's got herself split out into the floor. She's having a seizure. This is terrible. We go running in there expecting the worst, and she's eating that chocolate cake as fast as she can to keep from getting caught, and she ate every bit of it. So the person who made the cake is a friend of Mandy's father, who was on a plane to Orlando to go visit her brother, and so we had no way of finding the recipe from the person who made it. So we go online, Food Network, Google the recipe. 7-layer chocolate cake is the thin white cake with 7 layers of chocolate icing. Excuse me, the chocolate icing was made with cocoa powder, which has methylxanthine, quite a bit of it in it, and that is one of the major toxic principles that's found in chocolate. And we did the calculations of about how much she consumed per pound of body weight using the chocolate toxicity calculator that you can also find online, and determined that she had a mild to moderate exposure risk. So we decided to call our friends at the ASPCA, Animal Poison Control Center. You can find their link right on our website, hollytreeah.com, or you can Google it as I did, because it's fast in that way. The ASPCA, Animal Poison Control Center. Very important that you go to the Animal Poison Control Center because you will talk to a veterinary toxicologist. They know all about veterinary toxicology. Okay, so there are lots of things out there that are toxic to dogs, not to cats, not to humans. Things that are toxic to cats, not to dogs, not to humans. Things that are perfectly safe for dogs and cats that are toxic to humans. And a human toxicologist may be able to look that stuff up, but they're not going to have the immediate knowledge, they're not going to have the experience, and they're not going to have the same reference materials available that a veterinary toxicologist has at hand. That's very important. Now, it's going to cost you $65, all right? If you come to me during the day and I don't have the answer readily available, I'm going to consult with them, and I'm going to pass that $65 straight on to you. However, anytime that a veterinarian needs to follow up with the toxicologist, all follow-ups are at no charge. I mean, even if it goes on for days, no charge for repeat follow-ups. Even if the animal follows over to our emergency clinic, if they follow over to our specialty practice, all follow-ups with the toxicologist, regardless of what happens with that case, are at no charge. So give them a call. This is 7 o'clock on Christmas night. All right? So I get to talk to, I believe it was a veterinary student that I first spoke with. Gave the full history. They transfer me over to Dr. Hayes, one of the toxicologists. We talk about everything that's going on, all the pre-existing conditions that Savannah has, all the medications that she's on, and we decide that it's probably a mild to moderate immediate toxicity that she's dealing with. As a veterinarian, I should be able to monitor her pretty closely at home, should understand what I'm looking for, should she get into trouble, and we should be able to intervene. And Dr. Hayes wanted to make sure that her recommendations to do nothing Christmas night were correct, so she consulted with the medical director for the clinic who happened to be working that night. So I got a BOGO Isn't that great? And got 2 consultations to make sure everything was going to be safe. And we didn't do anything that night, but just monitor her to make sure that she didn't have any signs of an immediate chocolate toxicity. So I took her to work the next day. We did some blood work. She did indeed begin to have some of the secondary toxicity signs, indicating a mild pancreatitis. So we did have some elevations in her pancreatic enzymes, some elevations in her liver enzymes, some vomiting the next day. She didn't get dehydrated. She never got depressed or painful, so we just treated that mildly and symptomatically. And she's been doing great. She was supposed to go back and work with me today to follow up on her blood work, but she knew that and she disappeared when we left, and the boys were acting crazy. So she gets to go back tomorrow. She's doing great. The bottom line is, as we reported this on Facebook, we had 2 or 3 people say, "Hey, my dog ate a chocolate cake. He vomited and diarrhea for a few days. He did great." The bottom line is that, yes, there are lots of anecdotal reports of dogs eating lots of great things and getting things they shouldn't, and everybody going, "Oh, let me wait and find out." But I highly recommend that you do try to figure out what the recipe is, what type of chocolate they had, and you can find this information, good information, online as to how much the toxic exposure actually is. And then if there's a question, you can stay at home and you can contact a specialist, all right? A toxicologist who does nothing but veterinary toxicology right there on your phone. It's going to cost you $65. That's right, but this is your pet we're talking about, right? You're going to get that information right there on your phone, sitting at home, and they're going to tell you everything's great, or you may have a really serious problem, and this is what we recommend you go do. Why wouldn't you do that for your dog, right? I did it for mine because I love my baby, and they didn't give me a discount. I knew it was $65. I paid it. I may not be the world's greatest vet, all right? I never claimed to be, but I do want to be the world's greatest dad to my kids and to my dog, right? And I do know when to call in a bigger brain. Man, I picked up the phone and I dialed it up. I was happy I did because I got 2 of them that night, right? And I knew that my girl was going to be safe. And I knew that I could follow things up. Now, when I got the blood work the next day, I called them back and I said, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I've done. This is the medications that she's on. These are my liver enzymes. This is what's going on. What should I do now?" And I got all that information at no charge with a 3rd toxicologist. Made me feel good, and I could also come home and explain it to the big boss, Mandy, to make sure that everything was great. Isn't that great? That's great. And now I've got a very happy 14-year-old who still looks at the kitchen table wondering where the rest of that chocolate cake is, and still looks at the top of the refrigerator to get her treat every night, and is still going to spend many more happy days in our family. Okay, so remember, HollyTreeAH.com. Go to the links or references. I can't remember which it is, but you can find it at the top. It's pretty simple to figure it out. We got a whole page of links there, very good links with good information of community organizations that we represent, that we really like, that we think are great, but also the Animal Poison Control Center, a couple of vet schools that have some great information, good information for you. Check it out. ASPCA, Animal Poison Control. And don't forget the chocolate toxicity calculator, because dogs love chocolate. They love it. Most of it's no big deal, but why take the chance, right? Why take the chance? Okay, I think I'm done preaching tonight. I hope all of y'all have a great evening and that you've started 2017 off with a bang. Less of a bang than I ended 2016 with my sweet, lovable little girl. We'll talk to y'all later. All right? See ya.